Hey guys, we're back. This time we're going to be taking a look at something a little different. Anybody who's been a long-time fan of the channel or knows me in person knows I've been a big fan of Magic the Gathering for years. Don't turn off just yet. I did do some deck techs a while ago on a couple of my commander decks that I like. I don't play tournaments, I don't play organized play. I play casual with a bunch of friends and we just get together and have fun with it. And that said, this is a really cool set for what it is. This time we're going to be looking at Archenemy Nicol Bolas set here. And it is a... Archenemy is Magic's version of a one versus many, where the main player has a secondary deck of cards that allows them new powerful abilities to take on multiple challengers. So it's a one versus many type format. And this game does a lot right out of the box to support the fact that you don't need to put a lot of money into it. You can buy this box. It's got 3-player decks plus the Archenemy deck. You can play a 4-player game right out of the box, never customize anything, and just use it the way it is in there. And that's how I'm going to keep mine, just because I have enough of my other stuff on my own. And it does a pretty good job of what it was designed for. Anyway, we're going to get right in and take a look. So when you first open the box, things are kind of jumbled in here, but after you've had it open and sorted everything out, each deck comes with these cool deck boxes with the character on them and the name on the side and their own little slot to put them in. The insert actually works, unlike most games. You get this cool life counter, and I've always wanted one of these, and they're so expensive, and this set actually comes with one for a relatively reasonable price. The downside is it only comes with one, which you're probably going to use for Nicol Bolas here. And you need something to keep track of life for the other three. So that's one of those missing components I was talking about. Would have been nice if they'd put a couple spin down dice in here. D20s work if you have those. But pen and paper also works just to keep track of your life totals for your 3 other characters. But you have your 3 basic characters. They're each monocolored decks, so they're kind of somewhat easy to learn. I think they're all shoveled. They actually made the boxes big enough to fit sleeved cards, which is awesome. Normally they don't think of that. I sleeve these just because I don't want them to wear and have to replace them. You don't have to sleeve them. There's nothing in here that's worth money that's really going to degrade. Each of the decks is themed around a specific planeswalker, whose picture is on the box, as well as their name. And they each have a different kind of theme to them, so you can pick and choose based on what your play style is, what you enjoy playing. White tends to be life gain, small token creatures, equipment, that sort of thing. Nisa's deck is green, usually elves, big stompy creatures, lots of ramp to make powerful things quickly. And Chandra's is red, which is usually your direct damage spells that deal damage directly to people. Fire-based things, obviously. There's some dragons, goblins, haste, things that can attack as soon as they appear. Some interesting things there. Nicol Bolas, on the other hand, is more for your more advanced players. And he's meant in this set to be the archenemy. And his deck is actually multicolored. I could find him in here. And he's the big scary dragon guy, who has a lot of interesting abilities, and a lot of his cards are pretty powerful in here. And they're meant to be. As I said, he's meant to be the archenemy of the deck, of the set. And to augment his already powerful deck, oh, you have a bunch of token cards too. They give you everything you need for the most part. To augment his already powerful deck, though, you get these Archenemy cards. This is another deck of cards that are going to be shuffled up and placed alongside. So during your game or your turn as Nicol Bolas, you're going to flip over the top one of these, and you're going to put this into play. And they're basically game-changing things that happen each turn. And there's a couple like this one that's ongoing. This will actually stay in play until a specific set of events is met. And there's a couple of those in there. There's a lot of variety in here, but these are just meant to make you even more powerful and to complement the fact that you're playing one versus a group of people. And the last thing we have down in here is this little rules flyer, and this is the other fail I have to say in this set. And it explains the setup, the basics on how to play actual Archenemy, as well as some strategy tips on playing the different players against him, how to work together and things like that. And a little promo thing on the back for the new set that was coming out at the time. The problem here is there's actually no rulebook in here to tell you how to play the game. So they're assuming you already know how to play Magic at this point, and then just throwing all this stuff on top of you, assuming you already know how to play the basics and you already know what you're doing. Which is okay, but they're marketing the game towards new players. And then at the same time, they're taking the guess that you aren't a new player. So all they had to do was throw in the little books, the little card books in there. They're like the size of that stack of tokens that have basic rules on how to play the game. And that would have been fine. So if you do pick these up, it's a very nice, like I said, in-the-box experience. If you got 4 players, you can play it with less. It gets considerably harder for the challengers, though. And you can play it right out of the box, though, just as it is. And it's a fun little game. If you do go in and start customizing the decks, though, you got to make sure you customize them all equally, or you're going to throw the balance all out of whack. If you start boosting these guys up with aftermarket cards, making them into more powerful decks, then Nicol Bolas isn't going to stand a chance, even with the Archenemy deck. So you got to keep that in mind, too. It is an all versus one, too, so it is balanced a little bit in his favor because of the Archenemy decks. These guys are going to lose a lot, so you got to keep that in mind too. They really have to work together to take him out. If you try to just play 3 different players solo versus him, you're going to lose. So keep that in mind as well. Overall, though, it's a really interesting little box set. And like I said, I'm keeping mine just as it is, just to have everything in one box and be able to pull this off the shelf with people who don't necessarily play Magic and go, hey, let's give this a try. There's another set very similar to this that came out with 5 basic monocolor decks. I may do a video on that at some point if I ever get my hands on one. That's another great one that I just want to leave in the box, use it to teach new players or to pull off the shelf to play against people who don't want to take the time or spend the money to build up their own stuff. And that's really where this is. It gives you a chance to try Magic the Gathering without the investment of building your own decks and things. And if it's something you like but don't love, you can always keep these and play it anytime you want. If you do like it, you can always go out and buy cards and add to them and expand upon it. So it's a really cool concept that they're going. I like the direction they're taking that, despite some of their other odd choices as of late with the game. But definitely fun for what it is. And check it out if it's something that looks like you might be interested in. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for our look at the Archenemy Nicol Bolas set. As always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.